So look, guys, we've talked a lot about this. Lagging indicators are prices that oil affects, and aluminum and helium and fertilizer affects, because those are among the top commodities that are blocked. And so that pain is coming whether the war is over or not, because it's just a matter of time before it hits you. So if the war is over and your prices go up, you're going to go, what the hell just happened? I thought the war was over, right? But that's the reverberating consequence of the war. Now,
Exactly.
At this point, it doesn't look like it's over. And if it's not over, then the reverberating consequences are not going to be significant waves. They're going to be a tsunami. And so, look, Anna, as we've talked a lot about, this isn't just counterproductive for America. But I guess I'm not sure that I've ever put it this crisply. Like, if that economic tsunami hits America, this country is going to be so furious towards Israel that our relationship will be totally unrecoverable.
The entire globe will be furious toward Israel and the United States, Cenk.
Yeah.
But no, I think the fury toward Israel, though, is only based on anti-Semitism. They can't possibly ever do anything wrong. And so any criticism is it's just our deep-seated hatred for I guess, Jewish people in their minds.
Well, so that's why that victimhood complex, it's feigned by a lot of people, but it's genuine for probably more people, is a giant problem, because they think, well, they must hate us because we're Jewish. That's what we've been taught our whole life. So that means we don't have to do any self-reflection. We don't ever have to change course. We're never wrong, because everyone who hates us irrationally. And they hate us for something we can't change, our religion and our identity. That's why that lie is so effective. It used to be super effective externally, like, hey, don't say anything against Israel, otherwise you're an anti-Semite. Now it's effective, unfortunately, in the wrong way internally, where the Israel supporters, not all Jewish people at all, 63% of Jewish Americans are against the current Israeli government, but folks who support the Israeli government think, no, if your gas prices went up, that's not Israel's fault. That's your fault for being an anti-Semite. And like, that sounds hilarious, right? But they genuinely believe that any criticism, even the slightest ones, is with bad intent.
Well,
so that's why it can't possibly be their fault.
I don't know if they genuinely believe it.
I think the majority of them do.
Maybe the majority of Israelis have deluded themselves into thinking any criticism toward their country or their government is just based on anti-Semitism. Maybe, I don't know. But in terms of the people in positions of power in Israeli society, no, they know what they're doing. They're totally weaponizing identity in order to silence anyone who disagrees with what they've been pushing the United States to do, not just with this war, but with multiple foreign conflicts.
Yeah, there's no question, Anna. I understand what you're saying. And actually, that's a super interesting dichotomy. I wanted to talk to Peter Beinart a little bit about it. We did a Substack conversation. You should check that out on our Substack page. But we didn't get into it enough. We half got into it. And I want to have it with someone else that is going to have an intellectual conversation about it instead of freaking out, right?
Did he freak out?
No, Peter didn't freak out.
Okay.
But I want to have a larger one, because guys, what a lot of Jewish Americans don't realize, and not just about people inside Israel, but also here in America, is that they think, well, I'm not any part of any nefarious plot, so there's all this stuff must be like weirdo, super anti-Semitic stuff that I was taught about when I was a kid, right? And from their perspective, I totally get it, because they're not part of any nefarious plot at all, right? But their leaders are, and that has never occurred to them. That, hey, maybe I'm not involved, but some super powerful folks on my side are. Now, it's funny because honestly, like almost any other ethnicity and background wouldn't be surprised by that. Why? Not because Jews are particularly X, Y, or Z. No. It's because, like, if you're Turkish, do you know that Turkish leaders could be up to no good even if you're not? Of course you know that, right? So, and just fill in the blank for any other group, you know that the guys at the top could be doing things, including Americans, right? We know the guys at the top are the worst of us, right? Not the best of us. But because of the overwhelming propaganda about how, no, the whole world hates us. And it doesn't matter what we do. Everyone hates us. So whenever anyone criticizes you or Israel or anyone else, totally ignore it. And in fact,